When a champion has been on top for so long and they've just been dominating the division for a long period of time, of course, there's a point whenever they feel like, hey, there's no doubt about it. I'm always going to win. This next person's not going to beat me. I know that there is a certain level when they underestimate an opponent, especially when they think that opponent already has holes in their game and they lost in the past. But once that other opponent comes back and knocks you out in dramatic fashion, I don't care. I don't care who the fighter is or how long they've been champion. That knockout loss would definitely take something out of the fighter. If not something physically, it definitely takes something mentally out of them, where they're always going to think about that knockout in whatever fight it is they're in. Unless they really know how to cope with it and they accept it, then they can bounce back from it. With that being said, I want to talk a little bit about UFC 223's co-main event between Rose Namajunas, Joanna Jedrzejczyk 2. This rematch, to me, is going to be just as hype. It's going to be just as hot. It's just going to be just as dramatic, high tension as the first fight was. Maybe even more so. Because the first go round, I know the odds were against Rose. It was all riding high. It was almost like 70-30 for Joanna. That's the percentage that everybody had. I actually was in that 30%. I know a lot of people are going to say you're just saying that because she won, but I actually been riding with Rose and knowing, Rose, her style. I've been watching her in the Invicta days since she first started, So I was riding with Rose because I like what she brings in and outside of the octagon. I'm a fan of Joanna's style too as well, though. I'm a fan of her. I think she was a really dominating champion. I'm a fan of the way she trains and the way she fights, her Muay Thai style that she brings, and that she's been able to transition it well into the octagon, without getting taken down, or she has good takedown defense, but I'll get into that in a minute. But I really feel like I said, I think Rose definitely had the tools to beat Joanna, because I felt the things she's been through in the octagon, the losses, the wins, she's really been learning from them. And it wasn't just a physical thing, it was kind of a mental thing. The mental aspect, where Rose, like I said, she's dealt with so much. It was like Joanna couldn't really bring nothing to the table to psychologically break her or scare her. All the little things she was doing, the taunting, the fist in the face, the getting up in her face, screaming, "I'm gonna beat you." Rose has already seen all that before. So Rose just had to look past that and worry about what Joanna was gonna bring into the octagon. Whereas Joanna, she was, like I said, she was riding so high at the top, and she's seen Rose's record. She kind of underestimated, let's be real. I think she underestimated, and that was her downfall. So all Rose had to do was worry about what she brought to the octagon, and that's kind of what I called when I said Rose was going to beat her. I felt like Rose was going to either have to get her to the ground and submit her, which I think she could have done the first fight, or she was going to just have to time Joanna's speed and time her flurries, which is kind of what she did. She timed Joanna and landed a perfect left hook to knock her out. And those are my two choices. She was gonna have to submit her, or she was gonna have to knock her out, because you don't want to go the distance with Joanna. Joanna's always game. She's always in there to win, and she knows how to win a decision if she can't stop you. So that was my call the first fight. Going into the second fight, I still see it. I don't see it more in Joanna's favor, but I see it as a 50-50 fight now, because we don't know what that knockout really took out of Joanna in the octagon. Now, the knockout did something to her a little bit out of the octagon. If you go back and look at some of the things she's been saying, she's been going on the record. She's been saying that Rose just got lucky. She's been saying that it was some weight issues. But, in the past, Joanna, she's never had problems making her weight. She's always been coming in at the weight. She's never looked sickly. She's never looked weak in the octagon in any of her fights. She's always been dominating. But it all comes down to, again, like I said, how you cope with a knockout loss, how you cope with a loss in general. Are you going to accept it? Are you going to finally just give that person their credit that, hey, they were just better on that night, or hey, they caught me, checkmate, that was it, now let me bounce back? I think that's the part where Joanna has to come to terms with. The question is, did she come to terms with it, that she lost fair and square, coming up for this fight April 7th? Now, in between October and April, I don't know if she really has come to terms with it, because she's still kind of saying that, Rose got lucky. It would have been one thing if Joanna would have been petitioning and, screaming, saying, hey, I lost the decision. I won that decision if it was a draw, and maybe she did enough to dominate Rose. But Rose knocked her out, man. Rose knocked you out. That's why it's like, it's open and shut. They always say don't leave it in the hands of the judges. So the fight is more of a convincing win for you. And that's what Rose did. She didn't leave it in the hands of the judges. She knocked her out. That's why I'm just saying, once you score that knockout, there's no excuses. There's no type of excuses you can make. As far as what went on inside, you try to say it's a lucky punch. That wasn't a lucky punch. And if it was a lucky punch, it still knocked you out. And then after that, outside of the octagon, you're saying, it was a nutritionist thing, a weight thing. Again, that's just looking for excuses, because the nutritionists, they can't get your chin right. Your chin is what it is. How you take a punch is how you take a punch. I mean, of course, having problems with weight can make you a little bit more sensitive, I guess. But like I said, she's never had problems with making weight in the past. She's never had problems with making weight in the past. That's why it's just like when you look at what the things she's saying now, it was lucky, I didn't lose, I'm still the champion. Those are just ways of trying to block out, the mistakes you made. And that itself, trying to block all the mistakes you make, is a mistake itself, because then you won't know how to bounce back from a loss. Not everybody's going to be a winner all the time. You got to understand what you did the first time that was wrong. Understand that mistake you made. And that's what she has to do, man. Which I don't think she did, man. Rose didn't get lucky. It's all about perfect timing, man. And that's how Rose won that fight. So Joanna has really got to make sure that she learns from that loss, and she really learns from that mistake that she made. And sometimes you make a mistake, it can be a careless mistake. Somebody might just be better than you that night, and that's what she has to remember. So she has to just forget the past, go back in here and do what she does. And I think as far as her skill set, she possesses the same skill set to beat Namajunas, but it's the mental battle for her. I think it's just a mental battle for her, man. That's where she has to make sure she's straight, man, because that's why I have to say it's 50-50, because we're going to see how she transitions her energy into the octagon after suffering a knockout loss, especially, her first loss in general. Looking at Rose Namajunas, again, this is 50-50, because Rose, she got an early knockout, so we didn't really have to get to see her deal with all the other intangibles that Joanna could have brought to the table. But as long as she comes into the ring, still humble like she did the first time, and still understanding that, dang, I won this championship, but the same person that they call the boogie man or boogie woman is coming back to get it. Now I got to defend this baby. I got to defend my baby. She has to see it in that way now. Like, first time, she was getting it. Now she got to see this championship as her baby, whereas nobody's gonna take my baby from me. That's how I see it. She's gonna have to approach it like that. And she's gonna have to bring the same thing she brought the first time, the same type of heart. And I know she's not the type to just go in there and go, guns a-blazing just because she knows that she won the first fight. She's probably got to just go in there with the same mind state, stay humble, look for the opportunities like she found the first time. We know that the power is there. She can definitely land something on the chin that can change the fight. But just also don't look for the knockout, which she didn't do the first time. It was just about timing the first time. So just don't look for it. Just look for opportunities. Look for those holes in the game. Look for the mental mistakes. Look at Joanna. Look at her body language. See if she's gun shy from the first knockout, from the first loss. That first knockout. So those are just the things that I feel like Namajunas is going to have to do. Just look at body language and everything like that. The holes in the game, if anything's changed. But I think whatever else skill set she possessed the first time, that we did get to see, I think as long as she make sure she has everything like that. You know, ground game and everything. I think her ground game is better than Joanna's, but you know, getting it to the ground and maybe trying to get submission win, I think that's definitely possible for Rose this go around, because like I said, I was picking Rose by either a knockout or a submission win. But for me, I think that it definitely is a 50-50 fight. You know, this is definitely one of the toughest fights to call. Again, I mean, I'm rooting for Rose, but we got to really see if Joanna if she's just mad, or if she's just full of anger, or is she really ready to get her championship back on a level of, you know, acceptance and selflessness, where she can just say, you know, I made a mistake, let me earn this thing back, you know, let me earn this crown back. That's how she has to come in there. But this is just a little pre-fight talk video. I'm going to do a little bit more talk as we get closer to it. I'm just been getting excited for it, you know. I hope everything I was bringing to the table made sense, man, but that's how hype I am for it. But let me know what you guys think. Is this a 50-50 fight for you? Who you think's gonna win, Rose or Joanna? Again, I'm gonna do a little pre-fight on it, but just tell me what y'all think of this. Is Joanna making excuses? You know, is she not respecting you? Is she not respecting Rose? You know, let me know what you think. Make sure y'all subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.